What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of the Sports Muse Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Brumley, and I am joined by my co-host, John. John, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good today. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Hey, guys, make sure you drop your prediction in the comments to this video. We want to hear what you have to say, okay? We're going through team by team, and we want to see what team has the best fan base and what that fan base is thinking about their team. Our team today that we are covering, we are continuing the AFC South, and we are talking about the Tennessee Titans. Man, did they kind of shock the world last year in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, they two big wins. I mean, they were huge. I didn't expect it. So, I don't know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was definitely a ride to be on.
So, last year they started off 9-7, and we were talking a little bit off the air. The 9-7 is a little bit deceiving for the simple fact that old Marcus Mariota didn't do so hot at the beginning of the season. When Tannehill came in, they really stepped it up. Derrick Henry became modern day Walter Payton mixed with Jerome Bettis, just absolutely unstoppable. So it's going to be interesting. So let's start with their additions. What did Tennessee bring in? They got Vic Beasley, which is an interesting one. He had that one season where he had 16, 17 sacks, and he kind of fell off the face of the earth. So you don't really know what you're getting from Vic Beasley. They got him on a 1-year contract, so I like the flyer. Jonathan Joseph, always a solid guy. They re-signed Dennis Kelly. They got Ryan Tannehill for 4 years, $118 million, and they hit Derrick Henry with the franchise tag. They kept their guys that they needed. They did lose some guys, and we'll get into in a second. But they're two big ones. They had to bring back Tannehill and Henry. So I think, as far as that goes, you'll take that if you're Tennessee.
Oh, definitely. I mean, with Tannehill, if he can play the way he did last year, it's definitely a good contract. And Derrick Henry, it's kind of risky locking him up to a big deal. So, I understand the franchise tag, and that's kind of what has me worried about this year a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
And I agree. So departures: Marcus Mariota, Dion Lewis, Tajay Sharp, Delaney Walker. So those first four are guys, especially I like Dion Lewis a lot, but he never really caught on in Tennessee. Delaney Walker didn't play much last year. So I don't feel like they're losing a lot there. But I feel like, they lost Jack Conklin, which I feel like is a big loss. Jarrell Casey, I feel like is a big loss. They lost Wesley Woodyard at Cam Wake. Didn't get a whole lot of playing time. And then Logan Ryan they lost. But I feel like they might have some guys there able to fill that void. So it definitely should be interesting as far as departures. And then when you talk about bringing in draft picks, they drafted Isaiah Wilson, who kind of slid a little bit, the tackle from Georgia, Kriston Fulton, and Darrington Evans are the notable draft picks, which Fulton I thought was one of the most underrated corners in the draft, which I feel like he's one of those guys who's going to step up, and he seems like one of those guys who can play early into his rookie year. He's just a gamer. I like him. He makes plays on the ball. I'm a big fan. And Darrington Evans was one of my absolute favorite backs out of this draft. He's a real home run hitter. He is the perfect 1-2 punch to Derrick Henry. So it definitely should be a great offense for Tennessee this year.
Yeah, I think Darrington Evans, hopefully he catches on. I don't know what was always happening with Dion Lewis. I always thought he would have better production with the Titans. He was so electric with the Patriots, but it was just seemed like anytime he touched the ball on the Titans, he seemed sluggish almost. And I don't know what it was, but he never had that same burst that he did with the Patriots.
And he had a few knee injuries, and I don't know if it just kind of caught up to him or what, but I agree with you. I love Dion Lewis coming out of Pitt, and then he almost was out of the league, and then I was like, man, that was so surprising. Then he caught on New England. I'm like, oh, that's the Dion Lewis I knew at Pitt. And then he got to Tennessee, and I was like, we started the Dynasty League together, 3 years ago, and I thought I was like, I'm going to take Dion Lewis ahead of Derrick Henry. I think Dion Lewis is going to be the go-to back there. Wrong.
Yeah, I don't know what it was because every year I was like, okay, maybe it's this year. Yeah, he's going to have a good year, and then nope, just no production. So definitely weird, but I guess that's the NFL for you.
So when when looking at their roster breakdown, I kind of my initial feelings, I feel like they might be a guy short at wide receiver or tight end. When you look at receiver, they have A.J. Brown, who was, really a big play threat last year in his rookie year. Corey Davis was a guy who actually regressed from the previous year. He started to catch on, and then last year he was kind of non-existent. But he was the 5th overall pick, so if you're Tennessee, you're hoping he can step up. And then tight end, with losing Delaney Walker, I just feel like they're just missing a guy. They also have Adam Humphries, which is, nice. But I feel like they do need something there. And then I feel like they really need their first-round pick from the previous year, Jeffrey Simmons, on D to really step it up. Him or like a Vic Beasley to really bring some pass rush ability. They also have Harold Landry coming off the edge. So I do feel like they might need a little bit more pass rush with losing a little bit in their secondary with the departure of Logan Ryan. But, man, no matter what, if they don't get, someone kind of out of nowhere to step up, they're going to be a tough team to beat, man. Ball control, Tannehill loves throwing off the play action, and they're the best in the league at doing it. Simple as that.
Yeah, I just think anytime that you have someone like Derrick Henry that it just requires so much focus by the defense, and, you can just control the ball so much that you always have a chance to win because you can play your way and you can dictate the game. So you always have a chance to win, even if you kind of don't have the same talent as the other team. You can steer it your way and make the other team play your way. So I definitely think that's an advantage for Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely. And you look at the Baltimore game as a great example. They were so good at controlling the ball that it really made Baltimore press and kind of get out of their normal routine of their run-heavy scheme because they fell behind. And it really hindered the Ravens. And it's that same kind of thing with the league is, Tennessee's opening drive is 8.5 minutes, and you're like, oh, my God, half the first quarter's gone. So definitely Vrabel, that's his style of football, and they play it to perfection. So what is your biggest question mark about Tennessee?
So I guess my biggest question mark would be Derrick Henry. Personally, if I was him being on the 1 year, like the franchise tag, I really don't want it near as many carries as I got last year. Because look at someone like DeMarco Murray after he had all those carries in Dallas, and then he went to Tennessee, and then he was just so dogged down. But I think if I'm Derrick Henry, I'm trying to maybe cut back on the carries a little bit because he wants that one more big contract, and if he busts a knee, something like that, it might jeopardize that a little bit. So I don't know if I'm him, I'm spelling myself maybe a little bit early, just trying to come out. So I don't know. I just think it would be better to almost sign him for an extension because then you can really just run him. But I don't see it happening. So I just would worry that something would happen. And then, so if I'm him, I'm just trying to take less carries.
And, you're going to get it from both sides, man, because I feel the same way if I'm Henry, man. They don't like to pay running backs.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the modern day running back that catches the ball. He's an old school between the tackles. It takes 11 guys to bring him down. So, from his standpoint, he's just trying to get paid. For Tennessee, that's their guy. That's the guy that makes them go. No matter, Tannehill's looking better. Tannehill looked better because Derrick Henry looked great. And just to not go with the Derrick Henry thing is you have to wonder, Ryan Tannehill's been average for a long time. Was last year a fluke, or was that Tannehill finally playing his game?
Yeah, I think you also have to look at the teams Tannehill was on. Also, those Miami teams were never spectacular. And just didn't have the offensive weapons. A.J. Brown was a monster last year. Hopefully he would probably put up numbers like that this year as well. So, I just think it's a little bit of both. It almost counterbalancing each other because that play action was dirty last year.
Oh, my goodness.
And I think a lot of teams have proven that, you don't really need to run the ball that great to still play action and receivers will be open. So sure. I think even, without that, with this play action offense or the passing that Tennessee likes, that I just think, and maybe it seems to work with Tannehill, he's an athlete, he can escape. So, maybe this is just a system he's needed for a while now.
And that's definitely the possibility. And if I'm Tennessee, that's what I'm really banking on. How do you think they fare against the division?
I have them taking I have them winning one more game, but I have them finishing second behind the Colts this year.
Okay.
I don't know. There's something just like, I mean, like you said, they're missing a piece. There's something just seems like missing from the team that I feel like the Colts are a little bit stronger. And I couldn't even say what it is exactly, but just feel like they're exactly what you said, missing something. And so I just think that'll be kind of I mean, I think they'll win one more game just because I think they're very talented with Tannehill being able to play the whole year, or hopefully play the whole year. I just think that they'll be more competitive in those games that Mariota played in and everything. So, but I just think the Colts will be a little bit stronger and better of a team just overall.
And I definitely see what you're saying. They feel like a team to me that, every year, the last preseason game, you see a lot of veterans getting caught and even some big names, or a trade deadline. They just seem like they feel like a team that's going to go grab somebody because they feel like their time is now. They have Derrick Henry for one more year unless they sign him to an extension. So I feel like they're going to be aggressive into what they get. And I feel like they do end up getting that piece, or somebody steps up and becomes that piece. I also have them at 10-6, but I could also see 11-5. I have the Colts at number 2, with like a 9-7. So it definitely should be interesting. But they're just a tough team to beat. Are they beatable? Yes. But they're stylistically just tough matchups for teams because they're doing something that not any other teams are really doing.
Yeah, I mean, I have them at 10-6 as well. So, I mean, maybe we'll both be right on that one. But yeah, but will more teams be able to figure out a way to stop this running game with all this time in the offseason? I mean, just no one runs the ball like they do anymore. So I just don't think as many like defensive coordinators focus on that as much. But so I guess we'll see the way Derrick Henry fits this season. And I mean, maybe he will just continue just running and just no one can stop him. I mean, who knows what will happen? Or was last year just an anomaly and everything just seemed to click for them on offense? Who knows?
Yeah, we'll definitely see. And parting shot, okay, mine is Mike Vrabel the best coach to ever come from the Belichick coaching tree?
I mean, I guess you have a case. There really hasn't been any great coaches from there.
I mean, we've seen a lot of guys come out,
Yeah.
but we've also haven't really seen a lot of guys do well after coming out. We saw Josh McDaniels, which was like the biggest one. He came out and then he just went back to New England. He was like, "Nah, I'm not leaving. I can't
Yeah,
leave."
and then had another chance, yeah, and just didn't want to leave the old nest, I guess.
And and I get it, but Mike Vrabel, I always liked him as a player, and he just seems like an exceptionally really good coach. Brian Flores also seems like a really good one down in Miami, but I just really like Mike Vrabel, and I think he's doing something really special in Tennessee. He knows who he is. He knows what he wants his team to be, and I feel like he's a great a great players coach.
Yeah, and you hear it all the time, but he definitely seems like one of the coaches. And I mean, I feel like this is so cliche, but you hear it all the time in football. He's one of the coaches that players will like run through a wall for. Like they just want to be out there busting their ass playing. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this or not. So I definitely agree with you there that he just seems like a coach that the players really get along with, and that I mean they're just willing to bust their ass for.
Oh, I completely agree. Do you have any parting shots?
I think A.J. Brown takes another step forward, and I mean in a good way. And I just think he builds off of what he did last year. So I just think that he could be not top receiver in the league, but definitely getting up there to. I think he'll be for fantasy top 15 wide receiver for fantasy this year. So
I like it.
I kind of want to say top 12, but I don't want to risk it that much. But I might just say top 12. So tier 1 receiver finish.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys where whether he's, running a post or a go route or he's catching a screen, when he has the ball, he's just so fast and strong that he literally every touch can go for 6. He's definitely a guy that I think Tennessee knew he was going to be good, but I don't think Tennessee knew he was going to be that good, especially that early. So I completely agree with you. And hey, guys, check out some of our other previews. They're tagged in the video. Check them out. And like I said, drop your comments and let us know what you think. And I'll see you guys next time.